Can one exhibition fight really break every record in sports entertainment? That's exactly how CSI Sports and Fight Sports are pitching Tyson versus Mayweather, scheduled for spring 2026. No venue, broadcast partner, or final date has been announced yet, but the claim from CSI's founders is bold. This event could break every broadcast, streaming, and economic record in boxing. In this breakdown, we'll answer 3 key questions: who Tyson and Mayweather are today versus their highlight reels, what new in-ring technology might actually mean, and whether the business model is strong enough to hit historic numbers. If you follow sports business, hit subscribe. We'll unpack the numbers and strategy. Because before looking at the technology or the money, first we need to confront the matchup itself. 2 men, worlds apart, agreeing to share the same ring. Why this fight shouldn't even be possible comes down to hard numbers. In their most recent professional-style weigh-ins from 2024, Tyson came in at 228.4 pounds for his fight against Jake Paul, while Mayweather weighed 160.8 pounds in his exhibition against John Gotti III. That's nearly 70 pounds apart, drawn from totally different contexts and weight classes. Add in the age gap. Tyson is 59, Mayweather is 48, and the puzzle becomes obvious: a heavyweight knockout artist, decades removed from his prime, against an undefeated welterweight, regarded as one of the greatest defensive fighters ever. On paper, that matchup simply doesn't fit conventional boxing logic. So who are they today in 2026 rather than in their old highlight reels? Tyson holds a pro record of 59-7 with 44 knockouts. His reputation as the baddest man on the planet was built on explosive, short fights in the late 80s and 90s. But since returning to action in 2024 for his first competitive fight in almost 20 years, he showed both flashes of power and the limits of time, culminating in a loss to Jake Paul that headlined worldwide headlines. Mayweather, meanwhile, finished his official pro career undefeated at 50-0 with 27 knockouts. He retired after beating UFC superstar Conor McGregor in 2017, then pivoted into a second act built on exhibitions. Since then, he's taken part in 8 of them, with the most recent against John Gotti III in August 2024. He may stay in shape, but his focus has been on turning spectacle into income rather than defending a legacy inside sanctioned competition. That's where the paradox sharpens. You're looking at the most intimidating heavyweight in history, matched against perhaps the most elusive welterweight in history. Under normal rules, it could never be sanctioned. Instead, the promoters are framing it around unpredictability. People don't want balance, they want to see the unknown. Or as Tyson himself put it in interviews, this fight is going to be detrimental to his health. That chilling line wasn't aimed at himself, but at Mayweather, implying real risks when a middleweight level fighter trades shots, even in an exhibition, with a natural heavyweight. Mayweather has tried to neutralize that concern by insisting no fight can tarnish his spotless record, but even he doesn't deny the oddity. The proof is in history. Mayweather versus McGregor shattered expectations by making a spectacle out of a mismatch. Tyson's comeback against Jake Paul wasn't sanctioned as a world title clash, but it still drew global eyes. Both men have leaned into the strange, because their names carry enough gravity to make people curious regardless of the math. This bout isn't designed to answer the question of who is better. It's designed to answer whether people will pay again to witness a collision that shouldn't exist. And yet, curiosity alone won't be enough in 2026. If Tyson versus Mayweather is going to be sold as a cultural turning point, it will need more than nostalgia or improbable matchmaking. The promoters are betting that something else, something inside the ring itself, will redefine what fans see when they watch boxing. Instead of just being another nostalgic clash, Tyson versus Mayweather is being positioned as the fight that could rewire how boxing is presented to the world. CSI Sports has already teased plans for new in-ring technology and new scoring elements, with the stated goal of reshaping how the sport is presented and how scoring is achieved for years to come. That's not a small claim. It suggests the broadcast itself may end up just as historic as the matchup. One of boxing's biggest hurdles has always been clarity. Rounds end, numbers get flashed on screen, and the final judges' tallies often leave viewers frustrated or confused. CSI believes that gap in understanding is where technology can step in, providing fans with a more transparent sense of what's happening while it happens. If that works, the production won't just stage a fight. It could act as a test run for an entirely new model of how boxing is consumed. So what might in-ring technology look like in practice? CSI hasn't revealed exact details, but possible approaches could range from live performance metrics to enhanced replays that track individual exchanges. Imagine graphics that highlight punch activity in real time, or breakdowns that illustrate accuracy between rounds. These are not confirmed features, but if CSI implements even part of that system, fans could begin to understand not just the outcome of a bout, but the process that leads there. That's also where they are making a strategic play. CSI announced that new tools are coming, but they haven't said what exactly will be tracked or how judges might incorporate the data. That deliberate ambiguity creates suspense. It sparks discussion in advance and ensures that fans, media, and even purists tune in to see what version of the sport will actually appear on screen. The potential doesn't stop at scoring. The company could also push toward immersive production choices, alternate angles, interactive broadcasts, or even streams that let fans follow a specific fighter's perspective. Again, those are only possibilities. The key is that CSI is positioning this event as proof of concept, a chance to show that boxing can evolve beyond static camera setups and opaque scorecards. That promise may be as important to the business case as the fight itself. If technology convinces new audiences that boxing makes sense to watch and reassures skeptical fans that outcomes are fairly presented, then CSI's experiment could open doors for future investments, sponsors, and streaming partnerships. It's why they're willing to risk innovation on such a high-profile stage. The bigger opportunity is to sell a new way of presenting boxing going forward. But even with cutting-edge production ideas, success comes down to the money side. Can one exhibition generate the kind of deals and global reach that justify all this innovation? That's the test waiting just beyond the technology. So the question becomes clear. Can one exhibition, without a title on the line, truly break every record in the sport? That's the bet behind Tyson versus Mayweather. Promoters aren't just aiming for success. They want to rival the richest events in boxing history, the kind of global spectacles Mayweather created when he fought McGregor, Pacquiao, and Canelo. Those bouts set the standard for what a crossover fight can deliver in financial terms, and this exhibition is now being pitched in the same league. The circumstances set it apart. Contracts for Tyson versus Mayweather have already been signed, but the details, rounds, weight class, venue, even broadcast partners are still unannounced. That hasn't slowed speculation. Promoters argue the fight doesn't need a championship to sell because the names themselves carry cultural weight. If Tyson's 2024 return against Jake Paul is any indication, they might be right. Despite Tyson losing, the fight drew an astonishing 65 million concurrent viewers on Netflix, setting the record as the most streamed sporting event in history. That audience number is the strongest evidence yet that spectators will pay attention at scale, even without conventional stakes. Of course, this all rests on whether fans will spin once again to watch two legends long past their physical peaks. Doubts exist about Tyson's stamina at 59 and Mayweather's willingness to take risks at 48. Some argue the fight could resemble an expensive sparring session, and yet the early market is responding. Preliminary betting analysis, cited in USA Today, lists Mayweather as the favorite at around -140. While those aren't official sportsbook odds, they're enough to signal that fans are already engaging. When people start predicting outcomes this far in advance, curiosity is driving momentum. Health concerns also loom large. Tyson admitted himself that stepping into this fight is going to be detrimental to his health. Reporting has also highlighted neurological concerns that make every return to the ring a gamble. For viewers, that risk sharpens the tension. Some may question the morality of selling a fight under those conditions, but it's equally true that heightened danger has historically pulled more eyes to the screen. That fine line between sport and spectacle may be what helps push this event past previous benchmarks. The promotional plan aims to convert that attention into sales. CSI's co-founders announced they're designing a robust promotional campaign, complete with weekly premium storytelling and worldwide marketing reach. Instead of relying on a few press conferences, this rollout will resemble an episodic series, releasing training footage, interviews, and rival soundbites over weeks or months. It's not just promotion, it's serialized entertainment meant to keep fans subscribed to the storyline. Layer nostalgia on top of that, and you see why promoters aren't shy about record-breaking claims. Fans know they won't get Tyson from 1988 or Mayweather from 2015, but they don't need to. What they're buying is the chance to revisit their own memories in a new, high-tech wrapper. That model's spectacle, innovation, and nostalgia fused together signals something bigger than one night in the ring. It points toward a blueprint for what boxing, and maybe all sports, could become. At its core, the Tyson-Mayweather exhibition isn't about peak athletic competition. It's about turning legacy into a new model for revenue and fan engagement. What will ultimately decide if it succeeds are two things still missing from the equation: the concrete in-ring technology details CSI has promised, and the official announcements on broadcast partners and fight terms like rounds and weight. This is also a fight that raises genuine health questions for older fighters, with Tyson himself admitting it could be detrimental to his health. So tell me in the comments, do you think technology or nostalgia will win the night? And don't forget to subscribe for our follow-up. when those technical and commercial details go public.